going to be really casual. I mean, we're all pretty casual all the time, but short and sweet. We're just going to kind of go over what we've been hitting on this first week, which is really just social media and personal development. And we're really going to talk about those two things tonight. And then we're going to open it up and ask questions for anything that you might be struggling with or just questions in general. The team call that Allie did last night, our team calls are normally on Monday, but this week some things had to be switched around, so it was last night. She hit a lot on social media do's and don'ts, so I'm actually not going to cover too much of that tonight because she did a fantastic job of what to post, what not to post, how to share instead of sell. So we'll go over a few examples tonight, but that slideshow is posted in Classically Fit, and the recording is there also. So if you haven't seen that, if you haven't listened to it, definitely go check that out. And we'll kind of go over a couple basics tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share with you guys real quick. All right, so we are, let me see. Hey, Elsie, is the sound better? Hold on, girl, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you. There you go. Okay, so we are on our first week of our coach training, and I hope it's going well for everybody. We are trying to incorporate some new things into the curriculum, and you guys, it seems like, are crushing it with the personal development and everything like that. So I really hope that you guys are enjoying it and learning a lot. The first thing that we are going to go over are some of our favorite personal development. We're going to start with podcasts. I know you guys have checked out a couple of the newer ones that we have posted on there. These are kind of my top 6 go-to podcasts, and I'm more of an auditory person. I don't read a whole lot. I mean, occasionally here and there, but I wake up every morning and I plug in something, whether it's a book on Audible or if it's a podcast. I'm listening to something for those 10 minutes while I'm getting ready. I get up, I drink my Energize, and I put something on for 10 minutes. The Brendon Burchard shows are great because they're only about 10-15 minutes per episode. Those are fantastic for in the morning. Or you can just do bits and pieces of the Chalene show, or I know Trish Blackwell is fantastic, and Amanda loves her podcast, Confidence on the Go. So if you guys haven't subscribed to any of these, definitely go check those out and just kind of start chipping away. You'll start to find which ones speak to you and apply to you a little bit better. So definitely go, these are my top 6. We can definitely post some more if anybody has any more to add. If any of the other coaches have more to add, you can put them up in the chat bar, or we can post them in the group later on. But these ones are my top podcasts. Next on the list, I wanted to go over a couple of books that I like, but I really wanted to share this one little quote with you guys about personal development that I kind of stick in my back pocket, and that's: any ideas, plan, or purpose may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought. This business gets tough, guys, and your mind has to be in it every single day. And if you're not doing your personal development every day, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle hard. You have to find that motivation and that confidence somewhere, whether it's a podcast or a book, or if you're just scrolling through Pinterest looking at motivational quotes. That counts. That can be your personal development for the day. But you have to be finding that reason to keep going every day, and it's through repetition is how it's going to get you there. You can't just do it one day and think, oh, I did it, that'll be good for the week. That doesn't cut it, because you'll see something, you'll see like Thursdays, like today. Today can be a really good day in the Beachbody world, or it can be a really hard day in the Beachbody world. Today is the day where rank advancements happen, and you can see everyone else making rank around you and moving their businesses forward, and you might not be in that spot yet. And it can be a little discouraging. So if I had a great day yesterday and did my personal development, but then today didn't do it, and I start seeing all of these posts of everyone else being successful, it can be a tough day. So you need to dive into that personal development every single day. And trust me, guys, in the beginning, I didn't think I needed it. I was like, oh, I've got this. Like, my conversations are going great. I can, I don't need to listen to these self-help books. Like, I totally thought I was above that. Wrong. Like, I am not. I love waking up every morning and just having something to fill my cup and keep me going. So these are some of the top books. If you guys have not received a copy of The Compound Effect, your coach should be sending it to you, or we can send you an Audible copy. Just contact your coach if you haven't gotten your copy yet. But that's what we're going to plow through after this first week. So diving into week 2, we're going to start reading The Compound Effect. And you can keep up with the other podcasts also. You can kind of do both, or just find what works for you. And then these are a couple other top books that I really like. I just finished up with You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, and it's excellent. So definitely check out some of these for your next one. So that's my little spiel on personal development. It's totally necessary. It's one of our vital behaviors, and it needs to become a habit in your life in order for you to be successful in this business. And then we're going to touch on just briefly some social media do's and don'ts. I want to give a shout out to Lindsay Maloney. She had a great post this morning about her little containers. I know this is a photo of Allie, one of Allie's photos that she did when she first started becoming a Beachbody coach. This is what we don't want to do. This is what we want to steer away from. We don't want it to be salesy. We don't want to be put, pictures of autumn in there, and just there's so much stuff going on in this picture. And there's no, this post from Lindsay was fantastic, and I should have put the text up here also, but she had talked about thinking outside of the cereal box for breakfast, and instead of grabbing a Monster energy drink, to find some things to fuel your body. So this was great. She did a fantastic job with this. So this is what we want to do. If you can't physically be in the picture, do something like this, something that you have made. Don't do this. This is what we want to steer away from. Allie has come past this post. She has definitely improved since then. But this was kind of our little, yes, do something like this, don't do something like this. And again, I'm not really going to hit this too hard because we just went over all of this on the team call. And I can even copy and paste those slides into our coach training group for more social media do's and don'ts. But definitely start scoping out your coach's posts, see what they do, see how they share their story, see how they share Shakeology and their workouts. That'll give you a good place to start. So that's really all of my spiel for tonight. Do you guys, I'm going to open it up now to questions. What are you guys wanting to know more about? You can either chat it or unmute yourself, whatever, but we're going to keep it short and sweet tonight. Tips on personal development to choose. Okay, so I started off with the Compound Effect right off the bat. And I personally got a little bored with it. it was just a little too technical. I really needed something to boost my confidence. I did not post on social media before I started this business, like at all. Like I had like 130 friends or something ridiculous. And I saw Allie posting and I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrifying. I can't do what she does. Like I was a big old negative Nancy. And so I really needed like feel good stuff. Like I needed someone to tell me that I was good enough, that I could do this, that I could be anything that I told myself that I could be. And Brendon Burchard personally did it for me. I mean, he's still my go-to guy. I listen to him every morning. I think I've listened to all of his podcasts like 100 times, but the words don't get old. Him and the Chalene Show were my two big right off the bat. And I kind of just scrolled through the titles of all the episodes and I was like, okay, like if it was too technical sounding, like building your business, I was like, no, I don't need to worry about that. I just need someone to tell me I'm doing a good job. I am a words person. I have to have people giving me constant words of encouragement for me to feel better. That's part of, like, if you have ever done the love languages thing, that's me. I'm words of affirmation 100%. So I need a podcast that tells me that I can do it, that fills my cup. If that's not you, then you need, a more technical person. Maybe the compound effect is fantastic for you. And don't get me wrong, I love the compound effect, but it was good for me in like month 2 or 3 of my business. My first month, I really just needed to fill my cup. And so I actually went and found I need to listen to like some faith stuff in the morning. And so I actually listen to a lot of Rob Bell, who does some Christian speaking. So I did some Rob Bell and I did Chalene Show and I did Brendon Burchard. And those are my 3 fill up my cup. Once I hit diamond, I instantly started listening to GoPro. I would not recommend GoPro right off the bat. It's very how to talk to people, but in a very businessy like manner. But once I hit diamond and I needed to kind of organize my business a little bit better, GoPro is fantastic. And I listened to it like 2 or 3 times because it's super quick. And it really helps you develop how to talk to not necessarily your warm market, which all of you are still in your warm market, so you don't really need to worry about that yet. So I think it depends on where you are in your business and what you are seeking, if you need that positive reinforcement or if you really just need to know how to build a business. So that's how I went about choosing my personal development. Let me scroll back up here in the chat bar. Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying, Sandy. And I was a little concerned about that too. We've had, I'm in a big community with a bunch of other triplet moms, and there's some crazies out there that were like stealing pictures of our kids and creating fake accounts. And I was like, whoa. Yeah, it got weird. But I mean, I have like 850 friends right now. And I know all of them through somebody else. Like I have physically met almost all of them. And so if you know way more people than you think you know. There's in your online training that you guys are supposed to be plowing through, the what is it called, guys? The business starter and the coach training or whatever. Those first 2 things are called in the back office. There's a memory jogger. I highly encourage you guys to print that off and do that several times. And it just gives you a list of occupations and things, and they're just memory triggers. They just trigger different circumstances where you are like, oh yeah, I know that person. I'm not friends with them on Facebook. Let me go add them. So that's what I did. I did that like 2 or 3 times to get to where I am now. I'm just now adding people that I don't know. And so you can get to a large number of friends where that you know them through somebody else. So I would start there, Sandy, and then see kind of where that takes. Did that answer your question? Yes and no? I mean, yeah, eventually, unless you're fantastic at spreading word of mouth, you're going to need to kind of break down that wall. And that's the biggest part of where our business comes from, is social media. That's how we reach so many people. Right, I get it. But you don't, I mean, what are you worried about security wise? Like posting pictures of yourself in uniform, or like what side of, I mean, we can chat later about it too if you don't want to. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, we do. I mean, when I talk to people, I rarely use a template, Elsie. I started in the beginning kind of copy pasting here and there because I was nervous, but it just didn't sound like me. And so now I rarely use a template unless I'm going through like my mass invite list where it's all like, because I'm into my cold market. So I don't know a ton about these people anyways. And so then I kind of use a more scripted thing. But when I'm saying like somebody just messaged me today, I have no idea who they are. They have seen my posts. We're in a mutual group on Facebook, and they saw me in that group, and they friended me, and they sent me a random message, and they were like, hey, I still have 10 pounds to lose. How do I do it? And I was like, hi, my name's Heather. Let's back up a little bit. And so I was just texting her today, and I was like, okay, a little bit about myself. I have a 4.5-year-old daughter, and I have 2-year-old triplets. Like, there's my part of the story. And like, I just kind of like gave her these little bits that I don't have that like saved anywhere. I didn't like copy paste that anywhere. I was just like, we do have some guides and some templates and some outlines about each of the programs, how to break them down to people. And that's coming up in your coach training. If you want that right now, I can post that in the file section so that you can help send that to people if people are already asking you. But as far as breaking down the programs, we do have a great kind of like, I don't know if I would call it a template, but a guide to say, this is how the workout portion of 21 Day Fix looks like. This is how you break down the meal plan. This is the challenge group aspect. Like when I'm talking about 21 Day Fix, I tell them, okay, I like to break it down into 3 aspects: the workouts, the meal plan, and the challenge group. And I give them a little blurb of each one explaining how each one works, because that's what we're selling, all of those together. We're not just selling the workouts. We're not just selling the meal plan. Like, we're selling that whole bundle. And so I tell them it comes as I tell them it's to break it down in those 3 aspects. And we do have a post in the challenge group or in the coach training group about that. But yeah, I can post that ahead of time since you're rocking it out. Okay, great questions, guys. Is there any other? How are you doing with conversations? Do you guys feel comfortable so far? I know it was super awkward for me in the beginning. I had no idea. I was like, oh, and I didn't want to feel super salesy. Yes, and that was one of my biggest mistakes. Try not to word vomit. I mean, I know you're probably going to do it, and it happens to all of us, but whew, if you can just step back and take a deep breath and then kind of go back at it. I mean, any of you other coaches, you can chime in here.
I was going to say, I know that it feels like in the beginning when you have that first or a couple people talk to you, you have that deer in the headlight, like, oh my gosh, it's like you don't even remember what you're talking about, or that you've had the same experience in your own challenge group. And it's just like the least that you can say while keeping them in a conversation is best. You know, a slow conversation is going to build that connection with someone, and you're not hitting them back with 3 paragraphs of information at first, and they're going to be like, holy cow, like, take a step back, and they're not going to respond. I mean, it's overwhelming. So just remember that these are people, and you do not have to like sound like this, and this 15-star coach. Just fake it till you make it. They don't know that you're worried, and just relax and lean on us. It's like there's nothing wrong with sending us a screenshot of someone said this to me, and we will help you. I mean, that's what we're here for. And you don't have to respond back, within 30 seconds of their message. Take a second, think about what you want to say, and then respond back. So I think that was my biggest thing. I always just thought I had to respond immediately, and it had to be this like amazing answer. Just take a second to process it and just take a deep breath. You guys are doing great so far. I've loved some of your posts. It's been wonderful to watch you guys take out, step out of your comfort zone and give it a shot.
Yeah, that was great, Lindsay. And that's a lot of it. Just, you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. We've all done it. You just have to get yourself out there. You have to be posting, and you just have to dive into those conversations. And yeah, like Lindsay said, screenshot it, send it to us. I promise you, we've heard it. We've seen exactly what they're giving you. We know how it goes at this point. So screenshot it, send it to us, be like, oh, what do I say? And you can copy paste whatever we tell you back. Like, that's okay. I did it to Allie. We've all done it. We've all been there. And until you get into your groove, that's fine. That's what we're here for. That's what these 3 weeks of training are all about. Go for it, Elsie. That's fine. And post it in the group so that way everyone else can learn from it also. Because we're all going to be diving in. And there's still some things that people will send me, and I'm still like, oh, I don't know how to respond to that. Some people get a little crazy. So I'm still learning also. But be the student. You guys are your students. You will be a student for at least a month, and take advantage of it. Ask us questions. You guys are doing great. You guys are putting yourself out there. Your posts have been good. You haven't been just like, hey, Shaco. You guys are adding content and adding value, and that's what it's all about. You guys are doing a really good job. You guys have any other questions? No, we're good. All right, well, I won't hold you guys up. Thanks for hopping